I have cataloged impossible things for 3 decades. Creatures that erase memories. Doors that open to centuries past. Songs that kill. But I have never cataloged something that refused to die. Until I walked into Neverwinter. Most cities die once and stay dead. Neverwinter has died 4 times. The Wailing Death, the Spellplague, the Ruining, the eruption of Mount Hotenow. Each one should have been the end. Each one was not. I went there to understand why. The first thing you notice is the river. It cuts through the city from east to west, fed by the heat of Mount Hotenow, a volcano that is both the city's greatest gift and its most patient executioner. The water never freezes. Even in the dead of Farron's harshest winters, when the high road is buried in snow from Waterdeep to Luskan, the Neverwinter River runs warm. The Kalashite merchants who first mapped this coast named it Neverwinter, Neverwinter. A garden city, perpetual warmth, flowers blooming while Icewind Dale shivered 200 miles north. But a garden can hide a graveyard. And Neverwinter's soil is richer than anyone wants to admit. I spoke to a mason in the Protector's Enclave who has been rebuilding the same district for 30 years. His grandfather rebuilt it. His great-grandfather rebuilt it. When I asked him why he stays, he looked at me like I had asked why water is wet. Because it's still here, he said. And so am I. The first time Neverwinter died, it was a plague. The Wailing Death arrived without warning, a magical affliction engineered by cultists who sought to harvest the life force of an entire city. The victims did not simply die, they screamed, a continuous, unbroken wail that lasted for days before the body finally gave out. The city's healers were overwhelmed within a week. The temples closed their doors, the streets filled with the dying and the dead. And yet, and this is the pattern that defines Neverwinter, someone rose. A hero whose name has been lost to time, deliberately obscured by those who prefer legends without faces. They entered the plague source. They stopped the cult. They saved a city that had already been declared dead by every kingdom on the Sword Coast. The hero vanished. The city rebuilt. This was the first resurrection. The second time Neverwinter died. Magic itself was the weapon. When Mystra was murdered in 1385 DR, when the goddess of magic screamed and the weave unraveled like a tapestry catching fire, the Spellplague did not spare Neverwinter. Blue fire erupted from the ground. Wizards died instantly, consumed by their own magic. Sorcerers transformed into abominations. The river that never froze began to boil. The city's magical wards, the invisible architecture that had protected Neverwinter for centuries, collapsed. Without them, the plague had killed hundreds. Now the Spellplague killed thousands. For nearly a decade, Neverwinter was a ruin. The Protector's Enclave was abandoned. The docks rotted. The warm river became a barrier, the only safe passage through a city of nightmares. And then, people came back. Not heroes this time, just people. Families. Merchants who remembered the city that had once been the crown of the North. They cleared the rubble by hand. They rebuilt walls without magic. They planted gardens in soil that had been cursed blue. The blue fire scars are still visible in some districts. The locals call them Mystra's tears. They do not say it with anger. They say it with the weariness of people who have learned that even gods can break things. The third death was not fire or plague. It was the earth itself. In 1451, DR, a primordial, A being older than the gods, older than the weave, older than the concept of death, tore through the fabric of reality beneath Neverwinter. The ground split open. A chasm opened in the heart of the city, plunging into darkness so deep that no rope could reach the bottom. Things came out of the chasm. I will not describe them here. They deserve their own chronicles, and I have sealed those records in a separate vault. But I will say this. The creatures that emerged from the chasm did not want to conquer Neverwinter. They did not want to destroy it. They wanted to replace it, to overwrite it, to make it always have been theirs, so that no one would remember there had ever been a city of warm rivers and winter gardens here at all. For nearly 30 years, the chasm remained open. 30 years of things crawling out at night. 30 years of the city fighting a war it couldn't win against an enemy that did not die. The chasm was eventually sealed. The hero who did it is not in any official record. I have looked. The fourth time Neverwinter died was the most literal. In 1451, DR, the same year the chasm opened, Mount Hotenow erupted. The volcano that had given Neverwinter its warm river, its gardens, its very name, destroyed it. Pyroclastic flows consumed entire districts. Ash buried the streets 40 feet deep. The river flash boiled. Thousands died in minutes. The eruption was so violent that it reshaped the coastline. Sailors who had navigated by Neverwinter's lights for decades could no longer recognize the shore. The city was declared dead. Again, for the fourth time. On maps across Faerun, the label changed. Neverwinter, ruins. And yet, and this is the thing I cannot explain, the thing I went there to understand, people came back. Again. They are still coming back. The Protector's Enclave stands today, rebuilt for perhaps the 5th or 6th time, depending on how you count. The chasm has a temple over it now. The river still flows warm. The gardens still bloom. I asked every survivor I could find the same question. Why? Why rebuild here? Why not walk north to Luskan, south to Waterdeep, anywhere that does not have a body count in the hundreds of thousands? A priestess of Lathander at the House of 1,000 Faces gave me the closest thing to an answer. She said, Neverwinter is not a city of heroes. It is a city of survivors. Heroes die. Survivors rebuild. Then she pointed to the temple wall, where the names of the dead from the eruption had been carved into the stone. Hundreds of names, floor to ceiling. They are the heroes, she said. We are what is left. I have been to Baldur's Gate. Baldur's Gate survives because it is too rich to die, too corrupt to change. Neverwinter survives because it has forgotten how to do anything else. The city has made a habit of resurrection. There is one more thing. One thing that makes Neverwinter unique among all the cities I have cataloged. The city does not only exist on Faerun, it exists in the minds of millions of people who have never walked its streets. Neverwinter Nights, the game, the engine, the community, created a second Neverwinter. A digital city that has been rebuilt by players more times than the real one has been rebuilt by survivors. The game's dedicated community is still active, 20 years later. People who have never read a Forgotten Realms novel, who have never rolled a D20, know the name Neverwinter because they built a module there in 2006. That is not trivia. That is immortality of a different kind. A city that refuses to die so thoroughly that it escaped its own universe. I am still cataloging the impossible. Creatures, Doors, songs, cities. I've added Neverwinter to the Impossible archive. Not as a ruin, not as a survivor, but as a question. 4 deaths, 4 resurrections. A pattern that defies every law of history, geography, and common sense. The warm river still flows, the gardens still bloom, the people still rebuild. I am cataloging Neverwinter before its 5th death, because there will be a 5th. There always is. And on that day, when the volcano wakes, or the plague returns, or something new crawls out of a crack in reality, someone will be standing in the ashes, picking up the first stone, and asking the same question I asked. Why does this city refuse to die? And the answer will be the same as it has always been, because it already has.
The Impossible Archive is open. New episodes every week. Subscribe before the next entry disappears.